Will you please welcome Girls Aloud, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey girls, don't cry. Hey girls, they don't cry. They don't cry. Hey girls, they don't cry.
Lovely. Hello, Sarah. Yeah, look at that on your sitting note. Good to see you. Cheryl, come and have a sit down on the sofa. Hey, look at that. We've got all the girls allowed here. Nice to have you back on. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Was that okay with you sitting in the room there with Gordon? Because I know there had been this misunderstanding, and I don't really think that was the full apology you perhaps deserved.
No, I don't think it was either.
We've been really giving him a hard time tonight.
He deserves it.
Well, Cheryl's... You are close with him. Cheryl, do you want to have a word with him?
I've had a word. Don't worry, he was like a puppy dog. He was crawling all the way. It's fine.
OK, now, I very much enjoyed the last time you were on the show. And I'm glad you're here and you're still together, because I keep hearing rumours or seeing stuff that you are on the verge of splitting up.
It's not new, though, is it? That's, like, been since the beginning, so...
But is there truth in it? Because, you know, the longer that a band's together, when you hear those things, the more believable it is.
Yeah.
We've had that loads, especially when we released the Greatest Hits album, but we've got our new album out now and we've got a tour planned. So we're definitely not splitting up.
Yeah,
No, we can't.
because you've been together, how long have you been together for now?
5 years.
Yeah, and it started on that TV show, didn't it?
Yeah.
OK. Do you watch those shows now? Do you watch X
Yeah,
Factor?
I love them.
What do you think of the new crop on X Factor?
I think they're getting a bit of a rough ride, to be honest with you. You know, it's not an easy thing to do for anybody. And I particularly like that boy that gets slated every week. I just feel so sorry for
What, the
him.
one with the funny hair?
Leon. No, not the one with the funny hair.
I know the one you mean.
Does anyone like the one with the funny hair?
Sarah does. She keeps saying, who's that one with the blonde hair? Who's that one with the blonde hair?
Actually, you know what? If you stand in front of a hairdryer, you'd look a bit like that one. I can't believe that.
In the 80s.
Hey, you got a lot of stick for your haircut, didn't you, when you had that done?
I hate you.
Why do you hate me? I didn't cut it. What's wrong with you? Presumably you asked for
Listen,
it.
is there anything you don't want to talk about? The instant I said that, you knew.
No, I'm not talking about it. You're talking about it.
No, you talked about his hair, then you brought mine up.
Well, I was talking about his hair. No, that's not the haircut. What you doing now?
You bastard!
I didn't do anything. I like it though. You know what? It looks nicer.
It's better now. I just had a lack of extra hair at the time.
Yeah, yeah. It looks nice, but it was just maybe a bit severe. Up
It
front.
was a little bit at the time, yeah.
Yeah, I had a bad haircut once. And it was so bad. It shows me in a very bad light. I'm beginning. I don't want you to split up, but maybe you could do without one member. No, I had one once, and it was so pathetic. I went home and I wouldn't let my wife see it, and I locked myself in the bedroom.
And what
You
was
and your
it?
wife seem
It was just
really,
not very good.
really in love. You and your wife seem really in love. You were showing us all your pictures from your Halloween party.
I'm sorry, you're speaking. I can't really understand you. Because you're all speaking English. Is that? I'm sorry,
She'll
Nadine.
write it down. Maybe it's because I'm so far away. I'm like way over here. Maybe I should leave.
That's pathetic. Well, it's like you've been watching Heather Mills-McCartney's performance and you can't it. No, but you know, yeah, I'm very lucky. And you guys, are you all in relationships now, or not all of you? I know you're married, of course, to Ashley. And Sarah, are you with someone at the moment?
I am, yes.
Okay, who are you with?
I'm with a guy called Tommy, and he's a DJ.
And he's a nice guy?
He's lovely.
He's lovely.
Because you've had a few wrong ones, haven't you? But you're okay.
I've had quite a few wrong ones, yeah.
Yeah.
He's really nice, actually.
Okay, that's good.
But he's
gets
really
the
nice, he's
approval.
really funny, and if the girls approve of him, then that's
Okay,
always a
so
good sign.
that would be daunting for a young man, I would have thought, to say he's going out with you, because he has to meet the girls for the
Well, the
first time.
first time we met him, he was like a completely different
Yeah.
He was
person to
really
what we
shy.
know now. He
Yeah.
was so quiet and
So
stuff, and
cheeky.
he's not like that
And
at
I
all.
remember thinking, not too sure about that one.
And are you, do you wait for the response of the others before you go ahead, or do you think? I mean, if the girls didn't like someone,
That would be really sad.
It would be hard, yeah.
Because you bring your boyfriends along to work and they can hang out and chat to the girls and with everybody else there's like a good relationship and the boyfriends.
I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding what you're saying. Nadine, I'm sorry, I'm just joking. I'm sorry. Because you know what? Because you've got it's a Northern Ireland accent crossed with the Los Angeles a bit, so it's quite...
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, very good. Okay, but you're all pretty happy together at the moment. Now, when you go on tour, is that difficult? Do you? Presumably you miss your partners and they miss you.
Touring's actually the best thing about being in the band, to be honest with you. That's everything you work up to, the recording of the album, the releasing of the singles, and then you go on tour and, give the fans back what they've give you, I suppose. That's
And
the
you can
best
literally
part.
do whatever you. It's so much fun. You have loads of costumes, loads of costume changes.
Yeah.
We arrived from the roof last time, and it was scary. We had an almost like a
died.
near-death
Near-death
experience.
nearly died.
But whose idea was that? Who says you were going to hang you out the ceiling? So you guys
we
came
had
up
all
with
these
it.
big ideas, like we're going to come in on zip wires, we're going to do this, and then we actually
really were.
come to it like,
But no, we were literally hanging 30 foot in the air on a cage, and it didn't have. We literally had like a little seatbelt around the waist.
That was
it didn't
attached
have
to the
any
cage.
front attached to the back of the cage and the sides of the cage.
Right.
They gave us a mic and said if any troubles happen, you know, speak down the mic. It's fine. We'll bring you straight down. So we get up there,
it was horrendous.
and they go, right, ready, girls, let's go.
first time.
Ka-chunk. So now we are hanging in the air on
Now,
one
can
side.
I hazard a guess? Did any of you scream at that
Yeah.
stage?
Cheryl took mum roll, like, right.
Everything's going to be fine. But we were literally hanging 30
I
feet
was
in the air.
actually holding on to Nicola for
Because
dear
I was,
life.
I was
I
on
had
my way
one
down.
hand
I was on
on
the
the
way
bar
down.
and she was slipping off the edge.
It was
And you're lying
terrific.
on me.
Girls, can I ask you a question? I think we know the answer, but did any of you let out a little bit of wee?
It was close.
I can't even run for a bus these days without a little bit coming out. Now, listen, you're, I believe, have entered the Guinness Book of Records again.
Yeah.
You've done it previously. It has been the most successful girls group in the history of girls groups, I guess. Is that right? How many top 10 singles did you have to have in a row to...
16.
Wow, that's quite something. That really is. Isn't that fantastic, ladies and gentlemen? 16 consecutive top 10 singles. That really is an achievement. And do you now, do you worry that someone else might come up and, because presumably someday someone will
We
take
don't
off?
want that to happen, do we? Like, every single we release, we really do want it to stay in the top 10,
But
so
the
we
thing
hold
is,
it.
as well, is we're always going to be in there now for that anyway, so it's fine.
And we're in there for we are the first ever girl band to debut at #1. So that one, at
That
least,
one
if
top is
somebody
still
gets
in.
like 25
So, yeah.
top 10s, we'll still have that one.
You've
at
still got
least.
something.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of the Spice Girls getting back together? Because that's been... and I myself am rather excited about that and
It
looking
is
forward to it.
exciting.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Will you be going to see them?
Well, we all grew up as Spice Girls fans. I think Nicola
Same here,
once
same as me,
believed
that's
she was
right.
Jerry Halliwell.
I was scary.
She's
No,
still
no.
on.
But you must have been little tiny kids. How old were you when the Spice Girls first appeared?
About 11.
So you were young teens, or just like, but just the stage when you were getting into music. So I guess they were pretty much an inspirational thing.
exactly. So to watch them, you know, growing up watching them, and then to be in the charts with them, it's just bizarre. It's the most strange feeling
But now
ever.
you've overtaken them, of course. You've overtaken their records.
Yeah, and then now they're coming back, so we're going to have to keep releasing singles.
If they say they come out and say, look, we want to do a record with you, would you record with them?
100%. So we got asked this question twice today, actually, in both
Oh, well,
times.
thanks for pointing out how stupid I am.
They said, who would you like to collaborate with? And we said the Spice Girls. It would be amazing.
But I imagine that could happen fairly easily, couldn't it? I mean, it's not...
Well, if it was like maybe a charity record or something like that, we would love to do that.
Hey, last time you were on, you did a ghost hunting thing, okay? And it's Halloween last night, of course, when traditionally... were you out? Did you go out trick-or-treating?
We
or-
were working.
Until we got home at like 2 in the morning, so we had no time to go trick-or-treating.
The
And
scary thing was we were actually performing in a church.
Yeah.
So that was a bit eerie. That was a bit weird, wasn't it?
But you girls seem very susceptible to this kind of thing. You seem to be very open to
Open-minded.
the idea of otherworldly presences.
Yeah.
I wasn't until the
Who saw the pink blob last time? Someone saw a pink... OK.
It wasn't pink.
was
Let's
white.
not exaggerate.
It's a puff of smoke.
It was a puff of smoke.
But it was hovering
In
on
the
the
flat,
stairs.
and let me just tell
Oh,
you.
let me just tell you the
There's more.
latest.
There's more?
There's more.
OK.
I just moved out of the flat
Oh, yeah.
below Cheryl's old one.
This was the flat that you shared with a puff.
Yeah.
But it was a spooky puff of smoke.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend said he turned, he literally looked over and there was a big white puff of smoke. He said, Nicola, you're never going to believe what I'm about to tell you. And then he told me and I said, completely believe you. I've seen it on her phone.
But was he
We're
smoking
out
the
there
weed
now.
at the time or something? No. So there was a puff of smoke in the
Big
air.
puff of smoke by the window.
Yeah.
He
Looking-
said,
a ghost or
a
something?
ghost?
It
The
is,
same
it's
as what was on
definitely
her
a ghost.
phone.
But it's definitely a
puff
ghost.
of
you said.
smoke.
Well, you can't definitely say it was a ghost, could you?
promise you.
The place was an old mental asylum.
Yeah.
Right, can I just say I'm the only one that still lives there? Can we not talk about it anymore?
Why are you living in a former mental asylum?
Because it's
looks
nice.
Fine, I'm not really that bothered about ghosts.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
get the
fine.
feeling that you're not as easily... But if you saw... Say you went home this evening and there was the puff of smoke waiting for you, right? What would you do about it?
Probably would have.
Ring
would be calling Cheryl.
Okay, but you haven't had any other spooky experiences since then.
Not since the Halloween thing, no.
Okay. But I loved seeing you ghost hunting. It was a great thing. I would like you to maybe take that up semi-professionally.
It's fun, but it's... Yeah. Do you know what the funny thing
I was
though?
paranoid for weeks after I got home. I was like, any bump
Oh,
or
I
any
know, me
noise, and I
too.
was like...
I still am.
And I couldn't bear to watch the programme.
Why not?
It freaked us out
It
that
does.
much.
Oh, it was horrible.
Would you like to do a seance again, though?
No.
No.
I didn't do it.
Not in the dark. I would
Well,
do
you
it.
can't really have one with the lights on.
No,
That
you
defeats
can. If
the-
there's a candle, it's fine. I just don't like the pitch black.
Completely
I don't
dark.
know what's coming at me.
Not for the first time, I imagine.
Do you like to do it?
Yeah, I would like to do it, but I don't believe in any of it, to be honest with you.
Really?
But if you did it, then you might change it.
No, because there's nothing there, I don't think.
I'd love to see you
I
go.
would
Oh,
find
you
another...
don't. You can't possibly believe that when you're dead, that's it. You die, and then your body just disintegrates, and that's you gone forever.
Sadly, even me, and I know it's going to upset a lot of people, but even me, I think that's it.
Honestly.
Seriously, that's all you get.
No.
Don't be telling her that, Jonathan.
That's the
that she'll
truth. That's
never,
what I was saying to
she'll
you
never
earlier.
forget
You want
this
to
in all
enjoy
days.
every experience and every moment, and don't say no to anything. And now you have a new album out, and this interesting thing is that I believe there are no cover versions on this new album.
No.
And that's the first time, isn't it? Because normally you embrace the material which people know.
We've done, I think, 4 covers, and 3 of those were for charity. So we did Stand By You for Children in Need. We did Walk This Way most recently for...
Comic Relief.
Yeah, Comic Relief. And
Jump
we did
was
Jump
for
for the
the
movie
film.
Love Actually. So the only one we wanted to do as a band, because we loved the song when we were growing up, was Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now. The one you've been singing all day.
I know.
Ever
Yeah,
since
but I told you girls, it's not by Tiffany. That was she did a cover version. It was
I'm
by
very
another band
impressed
before
by
that.
you. I genuinely thought it was her track.
Yeah, well, of course you did, because you're young people, but it was by a band called the Rubanoos originally.
I'm going to look that up, actually.
You don't have to look it up, I'm not lying. If you weren't in a band together, or if you hadn't already gotten all into like a certain sort of thing, would you want to do other kind of music? Is there a kind of particular leaning that one or other of you have that you would like to take the band in that
I
direction?
think like
Lucky
all our
thing is,
musical
for
interests
someone.
are all different, but when it comes to Girls Aloud, we've all got the same kind
Yeah.
of goal, and we always
to
like
go
the
the
same
same,
stuff,
yeah.
don't we? It's really good. It just works out like that.
So you wouldn't want to be an indie type band, you wouldn't want to dabble in heavy metal?
It's
Or
not
R&B.
definitely.
No.
I appreciate every single type of music, and I do have a love for every type of music. And we get to do like indie covers on the likes of Live Lounge for Joe Wiley and stuff like that. And it's nice to do little bits and pieces, or we do covers on tour and things like that. But we have a very specific sound, I think, as a band, and we have the most amazing fan base ever. So we kind of stick at what we do best and what they love, and which is pop, and we love it.
Well, you know, when you first came out, I thought, oh, this is a reality band, and then after all, my kids started playing you and we started listening to the album, and I really enjoy listening to your albums. It's,
Oh, Jonathan.
that was a strange reaction, I'll be honest with you. It was like you were praising an elderly uncle for listening to rap for the first. I went, oh, he likes them and he's 90. But I'm thrilled you're still together, and I'm thrilled you're still having success. We're going to have a little look at, this is your current video.
Yes.
That must be, I would imagine, one of the most fun things you can do is making videos together,
This
isn't it?
video
Are you
was
kidding?
the
It's
worst for me.
hard. It
Well,
was
why was it?
There's been worse.
It was
No, well, this was the worst for me.
If you have a look out, actually, when you watch the video,
was shivering.
it was so cold. My lip is stiff, and I'm going, it really doesn't faze me. I thought it was going to be blue on the video. It was that
Sounds
cold.
terrible. You want to try working for a living. Here we go. Another.
Just 'cause you're raised in the bed and call the shots now on me. Ooh, it really doesn't faze me how you spend your time. Ooh, just 'cause you're raised in the bed and call the shots now on me. Ooh, it really doesn't faze me how you spend your time. Ooh, just 'cause you're raised in the bed and call the shots now on me. It really doesn't faze me how you spend your time.
You all look fabulous in it. Hey, maybe for the next video, will you do me a little favour?
What?
Put a little puff of smoke in one of the scenes. Give him a walk on, we can exercise that goes. How nice to see you again. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Girls Aloud. Thank you, ladies. Lovely to see you again. Thank you. How nice. How nice to see you. Talk amongst yourselves. There you go. Yeah. Girls Aloud, ladies and gentlemen. My thanks to all my guests tonight, the lovely Girls Aloud, of course, Ruth and James and Gordon Ramsay.